Welcome to Cooking with Andrea. Today we're going to be making my own homemade chicken broth. I'm going to start out with 2 gallons of water, 8 cups. I put one in already. And let's put the last one in so you can see. Got my big stock pot today because I am going to be making wonton soup. So I'm making a little bit more extra broth. Usually only make 1 gallon of broth, but today I'm going to make 2 gallons because, you know, half of it will dissipate as the chicken and the vegetable cook to develop that flavor. So what I did is I have 3 pounds of chicken, which I'm going to do last because I don't want to contaminate my hands. I'm going to start out with my seasonings. I have 2 tablespoons of black peppercorn, 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground, I have thyme leaves. They come a little bit bigger, but I actually like mine grounded. I have 4 little, good God, I can't think, bay leaves today. Old brain today. I'm going to just dump it all in. Smack it in the pot. We're going to give it a stir. I don't have my pot on yet, but I'm just going to get everything in. And then we'll turn my pot on. Okay, so that's my seasonings for my broth, my beautiful chicken broth. Okay, here I have 6 stalks of celery. I have 10 garlic cloves, a very large white onion. I have 1 bell pepper from my garden. And the reason I like using bell pepper is it gives a sweet taste from the bell pepper. I have 2 cups of carrots. And I'm just going to go ahead and drop it in my pot. Try not to make a mess. So, lots of veg. And I'm going to tell you a secret too. Normally, even if I have fresh vegetables, I will use my older vegetables first because this is going to be my beautiful broth. Even if those vegetables get a little old, a little wilted, use them. Use them. They're good for that. That's what they're made for. Okay, so I'm going to throw something in I don't normally throw in unless I have it on hand, but I do have bok choy on hand. But I'm just going to throw my little pieces in there because it is my broth pot. Okay, here goes my 3 pounds of chicken. They're all legs. Don't want to get nothing. Just gonna put on my board there. Contaminated. So I have everything in. I'm gonna stir everything in. And so for my stock, when I do the chicken, normally I just boil the chicken to get the fat, the goodness, the flavor, you know, the marrow, the gelatinous for my broth, and then I use my chicken for something else. But you know, whatever you want to use it for. But this is how I make my broth. I don't use chicken stock though. I was going to show you, you can use chicken stock to flavor. I actually like the way mine tastes without flavor, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook mine first, and then if I feel mine needs this, then I'll add it. But you know what I normally do is do not cook it with any salt, to be honest, as I want to taste the flavor of the vegetable and the chicken. And then I can make it whatever else I want to make it. I can make it wonton soup, I can make it a chicken soup, I can just use it for my rices. So I'm not going to add any extra salt. So we're going to go ahead and get this on a hot pot at 460. When it's boiling really well, I'll drop it to about 360 and I'll cook for about an hour 20 minutes, and we'll be back. Welcome back. Okay, our beautiful broth is done. Smells delicious. This is what the broth looks like. You know, it's not quite as yellow because there's no chicken bouillon or anything in there like that. We're going to take a taste. I've been tasting it the whole time I've been cooking it, but we're going to take another taste. The flavor is super delicious. Now, mine has no salt whatsoever. Salt makes a difference, but right now I could taste the carrot, I could taste the celery, I can taste the actual peppercorns. The heat hits the back of my throat, you know, from the peppercorn. I can taste the onion. I can actually taste the vegetables because I do make my broth like this a lot versus using the box or the can. I love Campbell's chicken noodle soup, and I like a lot of the other brands too. Swanson's is real good and so forth. But these are all the vegetables that we did use. Here's our chicken. I've got to go in and pull out pieces of chicken that got shredded and put them like this piece. I got to go in and get all the chicken and separate that so we can keep the chicken. This will be good in soups. This will be good in other meals. That's a whole other meal right there. When you're doing things like this, you're creating dinners and so forth for many different days and so forth. I was going to explain something. I am going to use my broth, this broth, in a couple different ways. So I know I'm making wonton soup, so I'm not going to add any chicken bouillon yet, because you can add the chicken bouillon after the fact. Basically, you're adding some real good chicken goodness and some salt goodness, but I want mine kind of just more just like this, because I can do with it what I want to do. So I encourage everybody to try making your own broth. It's really good when you don't have to worry about running out to get broth. It's that easy, especially if you want to make a dinner. I am going to end up freezing my broths after they're done. But I'm not going to use my broth today. I am actually going to let my broth sit in the refrigerator, or I'm going to cool it room temp. Then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator tonight. And then what I'm going to end up doing is skimming. Tomorrow there will be a layer of fat from the chicken. Absolutely wonderful. I'll skim it off. It'll come off like no tomorrow. And then I'll just be left with really good goodness. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with and make my broths and do this with my broth. If you like the content, if you please like, share, and subscribe, I'd be very grateful. And I encourage everybody to try their own fresh homemade broth at least once.